Hello, future doctors. Welcome to Synapse, your ultimate NEET preparation platform. Today, we are diving into a fundamental chapter of Class 11 Biology, Biomolecules. Specifically, we'll explore the classification of these essential molecules of life. We'll start with the basics, then gradually delve into more complex aspects, preparing you for every challenge, from easy concepts to the toughest NEET level questions. Let's embark on this exciting 4-level journey of discovery. Ready to unravel the secrets of life's building blocks? Let's begin our easy-level exploration of biomolecule classification. So, what exactly are biomolecules? Imagine them as the tiny chemical components that make up every living thing, from bacteria to humans. They are organic molecules, meaning they contain carbon, and are absolutely vital for all life processes like how your body grows, gets energy, and even makes copies of itself. Think of sugars, amino acids, and fats. These are all common examples of biomolecules, performing countless jobs in your body. Now, let's classify them into two big groups based on their size or molecular weight. First, we have micromolecules, which are small, simple molecules, typically weighing less than 1,000 daltons. Think of them as individual bricks. Then, we have macromolecules, which are large, complex molecules, usually weighing more than 1,000 daltons. These are like structures built from many bricks. For example, glucose is a micromolecule, while proteins and DNA, which are made from many smaller units, are macromolecules. Time to test your understanding with a few quick questions. Take a moment to think about the answers. Question 1. Which of the following is a micromolecule? Glucose, protein, DNA, starch? Question 2. Biomolecules with molecular weight less than 1,000 Da are called what? And question 3. Can you give 2 examples of macromolecules found in living organisms? Pause the video if you need more time to recall the concepts. Great job with the basics. Now, let's deepen our knowledge and explore the major classes of biomolecules at the medium level. At a deeper level, biomolecules are classified not just by size, but also by their unique chemical structures and functions. This detailed classification helps us understand their specific roles. We primarily focus on 4 main classes of macromolecules: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Each class is indispensable, contributing distinctly to the intricate machinery of life. Understanding these categories is key to grasping how biological systems operate. Let's start with carbohydrates. These are your body's primary energy source. Their basic units, or monomers, are called monosaccharides, like glucose. When many monosaccharides link up, they form larger polysaccharides, such as starch in plants or glycogen in animals. Next, we have proteins, often called the workhorses of the cell. Their monomers are amino acids, and they fold into complex shapes to perform diverse roles as enzymes, hormones, or structural components. Think about how many different jobs proteins do. Moving on to lipids. Unlike carbohydrates and proteins, lipids aren't true polymers, but they are crucial. They're characterized by being insoluble in water and include fats, oils, and steroids. Lipids are vital for long-term energy storage, forming cell membranes, and even acting as hormones. Finally, nucleic acids, the information carriers of life. Their monomers are nucleotides, which link to form DNA and RNA. DNA stores your genetic blueprint, while RNA helps translate that blueprint into proteins, completing the central dogma of biology. Now, let's reinforce these concepts with some practice questions. Question 1. What are the building blocks, or monomers, of proteins? Question 2. Which class of biomolecules is primarily responsible for storing genetic information? Question 3. Give an example of a polysaccharide and state its primary function in plants or animals. Question 4. Why are lipids not considered true polymers like proteins or nucleic acids? And question 5. Name 2 functions of proteins in living organisms. Take your time to answer these carefully. Excellent. You're building a strong foundation. Let's elevate our understanding further with the hard-level concepts of biomolecule classification. At the hard level, we delve into a more analytical classification, often used in biochemical studies. When living tissue is analyzed, it's typically ground with trichloroacetic acid, separating biomolecules into 2 pools. The acid-soluble pool contains micromolecules, generally less than 800 Daltons, like amino acids and simple sugars. The acid-insoluble pool holds macromolecules, usually over 10,000 Daltons, such as proteins, nucleic acids, and polysaccharides. Interestingly, lipids, despite their smaller size, are also found in this insoluble pool due to their strong association with cell membranes and their hydrophobic nature. Let's look closer at the macromolecules. Carbohydrates, or polysaccharides, are polymers of monosaccharides joined by glycosidic bonds. Examples include starch for energy storage in plants and cellulose for plant structure. Proteins are complex heteropolymers of amino acids linked by peptide bonds, exhibiting intricate 3D structures crucial for their vast array of functions, from enzymes to structural components. Nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, are polymers of nucleotides linked by phosphodiester bonds and are the carriers of genetic information. Beyond these primary classifications, we also distinguish between primary and secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites are essential for an organism's basic survival, growth, and reproduction. Think of glucose, amino acids, and fats. They have direct, identifiable functions. Secondary metabolites, on the other hand, are not directly involved in these core processes but often play specialized ecological roles like defense or signaling. Examples include alkaloids like morphine, terpenes, and toxins. Many secondary metabolites are also valuable in medicine and industry, like the anti-cancer drug vinblastine. It's time for some challenging questions to solidify your knowledge. Question 1. Explain why lipids are found in the acid-insoluble pool despite having a molecular weight typically less than 800 Da. Question 2. Differentiate between primary and secondary metabolites with examples for each. Question 3. Identify the type of bond that links monomers in proteins and nucleic acids, respectively. Question 4. Name a structural polysaccharide in plants and an equivalent storage polysaccharide in animals. Question 5. Describe the primary function of DNA and RNA, highlighting their difference in information flow. Question 6. Which of the following is a secondary metabolite: glucose, insulin, ricin, glycogen? And question 7. What is the approximate molecular weight range for micromolecules found in the acid-soluble pool? Think critically. You've tackled the hard concepts. Now, prepare to push your limits with the hardest level, delving into competitive depth and advanced insights into biomolecule classification. At the most advanced level, understanding biomolecule classification involves appreciating the nuances of their analytical separation and their roles as precursors. The acid-soluble pool, often called the cytoplasmic pool, isn't just micromolecules, it also includes crucial inorganic ions like sodium, potassium, and phosphate, vital for cell function. The acid-insoluble pool, or macromolecular fraction, is where we find true polymers, but also lipids. The critical point here is that lipids, being membrane components, are not soluble in TCA, so they coprecipitate with macromolecules, blurring the simple molecular weight distinction. Micromolecules are far more than just building blocks. They are the active players in countless metabolic reactions. Amino acids, with their diverse R groups, dictate the entire structural and functional repertoire of proteins. Nucleotides form not just nucleic acids but also act as energy currency like ATP and crucial coenzymes like NAD+ and FAD, driving redox reactions. Fatty acids are not only lipid components but also signaling molecules. This highlights their immense functional diversity beyond just being precursors. When we talk about macromolecules, it's essential to distinguish between true polymers and large non-polymeric aggregates. Proteins, polysaccharides, and nucleic acids are true polymers, built from repeating monomeric units linked by specific covalent bonds. Lipids, however, are a heterogeneous group. While large in overall structure, they are not formed by repeating identical monomers. Their macromolecular behavior in the acid-insoluble pool stems from their hydrophobic nature, causing them to aggregate and form larger structures, not from covalent polymerization. This distinction is crucial for a precise understanding of their chemical nature. Furthermore, biomolecules are classified functionally: structural, catalytic, transport, genetic, storage, and regulatory. This functional lens reveals the intricate division of labor within a cell. Consider the stereospecificity of biomolecules. L-amino acids and D-sugars are almost exclusively found in living systems. This chirality is fundamental for enzyme specificity and receptor binding, ensuring precise biological interactions. Finally, remember the dynamic state. Biomolecules are constantly synthesized and degraded, a continuous turnover, maintaining a steady state, essential for cellular adaptation and response. This metabolic flux is the essence of life's continuous activity. Let's tackle the first 5 hardest questions. Question 1. A student performed an experiment to isolate biomolecules from a liver sample. After treatment with trichloroacetic acid, they observed a precipitate. What major classes of biomolecules would predominantly be found in this precipitate, and what is the exception regarding molecular weight? Question 2. Explain the concept of true polymers in the context of biomolecules. Give examples of 2 classes that fit this definition and one that does not, justifying your answer. Question 3. Discuss the significance of chirality in biological systems, specifically mentioning amino acids and sugars. Question 4. Describe the dynamic steady state of biomolecules within a living organism and briefly explain the concept of turnover. Question 5. Beyond their role as building blocks, what other crucial roles do micromolecules play in cellular functions? Provide at least 3 distinct examples. Continuing with the remaining hardest questions. Question 6. Categorize the following biomolecules based on their primary function: collagen, ATP, DNA polymerase, glycogen, estrogen. Question 7. Distinguish between the acid-soluble and acid-insoluble pools in terms of their typical molecular weight ranges and the presence of inorganic compounds. Question 8. Why are D-sugars and L-amino acids predominantly found in biological systems, and what would be the likely consequence if an organism attempted to utilize their enantiomers? Question 9. A novel biomolecule is discovered that is insoluble in water and forms aggregates in acidic solutions, yet its molecular weight is determined to be 450 Da. To which class of biomolecules would it most likely belong, and why? And finally, question 10. Explain how secondary metabolites, despite not being directly involved in an organism's primary metabolism, can be vital for its survival and success. Provide an example. These questions demand a thorough and nuanced understanding of the topic. Congratulations on completing this comprehensive journey through the classification of biomolecules. We've covered everything from basic definitions to advanced, competitive insights. To further enhance your NEET preparation, visit synapse.omaps.in for more such high-quality educational content, practice tests, and detailed solutions. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more engaging lessons. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing towards your NEET goals with Synapse.